Welcome to the video where we will talk about my finished January pictures. And let's start from winter pictures, of course. I managed to color 2 pages in book by Crystal Vogel. I am very happy that this paper allows me to work with many pencil brands. I colored page with Arctics, so budget pencils. I colored page with Prismacolor with polychromos. This one is done with Prismacolors mostly, but background it's Arctics. Lovely page. I was a little bit preoccupied how to color all those bunnies so they won't be lost. I think that the most interesting part here was those singing birds. They are secondary elements, but still very sweet. That's why I love books by Crystal Vogel, because you can look at all the elements, all the details to find so many funny things. And these pictures, they always put a smile on your face. Another one, it's story about mistletoe, and I really wanted to use something different for the elves. Usually I use more traditional colors like red and green or earth colors for the wooden elves. Here I decided that I really want to attract more attention to the girl, so I used shades of purple, of violet. And this page I did with polychromos. Background, again, it's budget pencils. I even tried Monarch, Black Widow Monarch pencils. They are a little bit dry for this paper, but still possible to work with them. So really nice pictures, nice paper, perfect. Now I start to think that maybe I want the newest book by Crystal Vogel about fairy tales. Yes, I still need to color a lot of pictures here and in mermaids, but you know that I love to color fairy tales, so I'm tempted to get myself a newest Crystal Vogel book. In Matchstick Mouse I did 3 pictures, another very lovely book. For me it's one of the best works by Morgan O'Brien. I think that my mouse, she has a really very nice and sweet January. She made mullet wine. I especially love the face of the worm. I don't know how it's possible to make facial expression for the worm without mouse, without anything else, but still you can clearly see that he's very interested, even excited. Another one which I did, it's treats for the birds. Lovely winter weather. Unfortunately, we didn't have such weather during the whole January. On the one side, it's a blessing because we didn't have problems with electric power because we had warm weather. So for the country, it's a blessing. But for the winter spirit, it's not the good thing. I really would want to have at least a couple of days with real winter, with snow. I miss snow weather. Without too much cold, but at least a little bit of snow would be really nice. So that's why I was so excited to color this page. And the final one. Well, Mouse was quite adventurous and went to the night fishing. Not my favorite thing, of course. Not my hobby. I prefer to stay at home and to do something inside, but for the mouse I think that it was interesting. Here I tried to make a difference in color between snow, where I used more violet blue colors to shade snow and more bluish green colors to indicate where we have ice on the surface of the water. Well, I really enjoy each time to invent different colors for the mouse, clothes, for the head, for the coat. Well, lovely, and I really enjoyed each of these 3 finished pictures. Next, I finally finished page in Le Gens Nouveau by Herb Leonhardt page, which I planned to color maybe for 5 years. You know, every time when I started to do my color planning for this page, I imagined the coat of the Holy King in red colors, but something stopped me. It was too cliché, too similar to Santa Claus, and maybe it was one of the reasons why I didn't start this page. But finally, when I decided to try this grayish blue, and to get this grayish blue color, I had to use pencils from different brands, Starjoy, Polychromos, but the final look of it I really love. Exactly what I needed. Intense, but in the same time not this traditional red. I think that it's enough to have red here for the berries and on the frame, so everything went much easier after I decided about the color for the coat. Maybe for these pictures, all those frames, they are not most exciting part to do, and I'm always confused by such additional details like those round frames. I have them in this book everywhere. Of course, I prefer to do the main image, and such frames, they always are, well, last step when you try to color it quickly to finish it. But I think that here everything worked well. I combined pencils together with soft, with felty pens to finish this frame. Maybe I could do it a little bit more interesting, but at least this boring frame, it doesn't distract attention from the Holy King. And finally, I am happy that I fulfilled this promise that I made to myself to color this page. I remember that I put it in my plans last December, not this year, even the previous December. Then I wanted to do it this December, and finally in January I did it. The most clever part for me was this transition from hare and bird into the beginning of the coat, because it was difficult for me to decide where exactly one starts and other ends, so I decided to make this strange smooth gradient, and I don't mind that it looks slightly creepy. Another book which I don't color quite often, but it's by the artist which I really love. It's Martin Noble Fairy Tales. Some of the designs, I think that they have too many lines for me, but picture which I selected, I liked it from the moment when I got the book. It's one of the saddest fairy tales which I ever read when I was a child. I was very impressed because in the book mostly we have fairy tales with happy end, and this one, it really made a huge impression when I was a child. So that's the Little Match Girl, and here I really wanted to play on the contrast between warm and cold colors. You can see that on the girl I tried to use warm colors not only on the candle but also for her hair. I decided to also make a contrast between cheerful atmosphere around all those beautiful rich houses, those flowers, and the tragic moment which we have in the story. I'm not sure that I did a good work on the grandma. It was difficult to select colors in such way so she would be visible as a second main character, and not to make her very fashionable, because they are from the poor family, so we can't make her very well dressed. I also combined markers together with pencils for quick work. This frame, this background I did with markers, and I think that it really helped me to color it quickly and to enjoy to do the main image without being bored to do the secondary elements. I wanted to do more winter pictures here, but as usual I didn't have enough time. I did just one page in Teresa Goodrich this month, and I decided that I need to do at least another page in Christmas charm. In December I managed to do only 2 pictures, so I decided that I don't want to abandon this book yet, to put it on the shelf until the next Christmas season. I selected page with this horse. It's not 100% Christmas. They have, of course, tree, but it could be simply a sweet winter page. I really enjoyed doing various colors for the wood, for the walls of the stable, for the door, and I think that it's really lovely with all those decorative garlands with the wreath. Easy, lovely. I'm not very good at drawing horses, so I'm grateful that here we have only head, mane of the horse. It was relatively easy. I am a little bit afraid to color body of horse. I have several lovely pictures which I would love to color, but they have horses. And well, head of the horse, it's easier rather than the full body. Another good moment for me in January was a return to Derwent Inktense. Of course, the biggest push was my Christmas gift, newest colors of Derwent Inktense. Unfortunately, we still don't have them here in Ukraine. In our local shops we can purchase old colors, but still we don't have newest colors. Now, when I received them as a Christmas gift, I really wanted to test them immediately somewhere, and I remembered that books by Paul Brun, they have very good paper, and pictures are perfect for Inktense, with a lot of greenery, with a lot of flowers, other tropical plants, flowers, leaves, and very good paper suitable for water-soluble art supplies. Because of the good paper, I think that I managed to achieve a look of this page quite similar to a watercolor work. I especially enjoyed putting a very light layer of pencil to the background to use a lot of water. I love this slightly dreamy effect of the wet atmosphere of Amazon, and then strong and vibrant colors for the leaves and flowers. Very lovely. I really enjoyed returning to Inktense pencils. I love to combine Inktense with other pencils for additional effects, for the for shading, and I definitely think that with my full set of Inktense I will be coloring in all Paul Brun books. Currently I own 2 much more frequently, and it was a good distraction from all the snow winter pictures. Sometimes you love to do winter pictures, but sometimes you want to do something totally different and then happily return to winter pictures. So I have one totally tropical page. I'm not very happy with my current progress in Around the World, book by Russell Hampson. I wanted for my Mr. Fogarty to travel around the world much quicker, and unfortunately in January I did 2 very simple pictures in the end of the story. One it's called Home at Last. I selected it because I had very limited time. I wanted to work with polychromos pencils, and it's simple, it's easy. I think that it really just helped me to relax. Another one, well, I think that I exaggerated a little bit with all those stencils. I had my distress inks, I had stencil. I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting. I quickly colored the main image and it looked very boring. Maybe I need to do something different for the wallpaper to make them more decorative. So I decided to decorate it with stencil, and I'm still not sure, do I like it or no. I think that I need to work on this book more seriously. So many lovely pictures. I promised myself that one day I will finish it, but with such speed, well, it won't be in the nearest future. Next, let's have a look at Ivy. Here I managed to do one full spread, but first I will show you how I finished this one, where the right side I did in November. Again, it was quite strange work. I experimented with this background, with pencils, stencil on top of it. When I finished it, I wasn't sure if I want to finish the left side, but after a month's break I decided that if I color everything as a finished spreads. Okay, let's do also this left side. You can see that I try to use the same colors to match the right side. Of course, right side it's much more interesting, but now it looks much completed. Here I mostly use Arctic pencils. They work quite good, especially when you don't need to do any complicated layering. They cover paper nicely. I love their colors, so Arctics are quite helpful, especially for the backgrounds. And another page which I did, it was spread with dragon. I do love to color dragons, but definitely not such kind of pictures, because this one, it was empty. Dragon was hanging in the air without anything around. Those leaves here, they also weren't very interesting. I don't like such pictures. So to match a little bit the story and to add some dynamics to the page, I had to add a lot of details. I decided that maybe my dragon is sitting inside of the cave, so I added a little bit of ceiling, some stones around, and at least I put stone beneath the legs of the dragon, so now it's not hanging in the emptiness. I also decided to add some precious things which probably were collected by the dragon, the chest with maybe with some coins, other treasure elements, some crystals, whatever I was able to add. And also I added another hand of the dragon. I needed something as a focal point for the spread, and I decided that maybe if dragon holds the gemstone, it would be a nice focal point in the middle of the spread. So I added hand, I added gemstone and some rays of light. It gave me some starting point to do the background on the both sides. Well, it was the best which I managed to do for this page. Really not very happy with the dragon. It still look very flat, not three-dimensional, but I was so exhausted by doing the background that I wasn't able to invent something better for the dragon. Slowly but surely I color in books by Leila Dooley. Her newest books, they really helped me to remember those happy times when I frequently colored in flower year. Of course, here pictures are much bigger, so you need more efforts, more time to color them, but they have more variety in subjects and it makes coloring more interesting. Flower year is great, but inside 1 month you have almost similar flowers, you use almost similar colors. Here it was more fun to do pictures. I did two, and I used totally different pencils for them. For the leaves and needles, I used together Derwent and Tens for the yellow leaves. It was really a big pleasure to work because paper very good for watercolors, for Derwent and Tens. And then for those long and narrow needles, I used polychromos pencils, and for the pine cones also. The most challenging part was this background. I changed it several times, so it looks slightly dirty, but that's okay. I think that final color, this pale blue, it matched the idea of winter picture, and I deliberately added some mess by sprinkling ochre color on top of the image. But honestly, second page I love a little bit more. This winter wreath I did with Prismacolor pencils. It was challenging because I have this bad habit when I have a flower botanical composition with variety of plants, different leaves, different branches. I tend to color all them. If I have different leaves, I need a different color palette for each of them. So in the end, sometimes it's complicated to find new color combos, but thanks to variety of green shades in Prismacolor set and addition of blue and brown colors, I think that I managed to do nice wreath. Lovely colorful details, not too much, and in the end, the final step, those grayish blue leaves, I think that they really helped to make impression of the winter picture. When I color winter leaves, I try not to use very vibrant yellow-green colors like spring green or apple green, so you are even more limited in your green choice. So instead, I opted for those grayish blue, grayish green colors, and I think that everything looks very well balanced, so I'm proud of this page. It was long, but in the same time not very complicated. Just I had to distribute colors between all the leaves and then to enjoy every moment. Another good moment was my return to Kerberos. You know, each time I repeat that he is one of my favorite artists, but sadly, during last maybe 6, maybe even 8 months, I color his books very rarely. I almost abandoned all of them. And Alena World, that's Alena World but in Ukrainian edition. For me it was one of the most complicated, but then somehow I looked once again at these pictures and I realized that actually I can color them. I did one very simple page in January, and it's this page with Alien gladiators, but I immediately want to do many more pictures. I really love this final part of the book where we have a mix of mechanical elements and some alien creatures. For this one, I started as usual from the background. I wanted to do this arena with alien spectators. I tried to use a lot of red and orange colors to show the cruel, ferocious nature of this planet. And then on the final step, it was a lot of fun to imagine colors for the alien creatures fighting here on the foreground. Well, what can I say? It's not the most complicated page, but for me it's a good sign that I need to return to Kirby's books. I made a big moment without these books, so I really forgot all the finished pictures which I saw, which confused me, like I can't do anything better, like I can copy some others' work. Now I am much confident in my own ideas. I miss his books. I think that I will do a spread in Alien World and then I plan to return to Mythic World probably. I want to return to all of his books, but now when I have this inspiration to do something in Alien World, I think that February I will dedicate to this book. Of course, I really want to have the newest book about dark fairy tales. It's creepy, it's very detailed, but I am sure that I will enjoy coloring it. And final work, it's Nelko Neko. All done with Prismacolor pencils. You know that I'm not a big fan of pencil backgrounds, but on this paper, just like in big books by Kanoko Igusa, I don't mind to do pencil backgrounds. They lay down well, they blend well, so I was happy when I did the fireplace. When I selected page, I wasn't sure about this one, because in December I did also page with fireplace, but I decided that if I can invent different color for the stones, not similar to what I did here, it's totally acceptable to do another fireplace scene. I love to do pictures where I can show those reflections, highlights, shadow, and of course I was totally in love with the sweet grandma cat. She is so sweet. I do love her dress, her shawl, her hat, very lovely. And other cats, they also are lovely. Somehow the most challenging for me was to finish this patchwork blanket without making it extremely motley, using too many colors. I was afraid to distract attention from the main hero. But those rich blue and rich cherry red colors, they helped to make grandma as a focal point of the whole composition, so I am very happy with this one. This page and Winter Wreath in Leila Dewley, they are my favorites for January. I really don't want to put it on the shelf, but in February I really want to have some time with my other books. In December I received many new coloring books as a Christmas presents, so in February I think about doing several pictures for St. Valentine's Day and maybe to start some of my new books. Well, a video about my February plans I will publish soon. Thank you for watching this video about January results. Thank you for watching January videos, for commenting, and I hope to return to you very soon with color along videos.